I have made many visits to Silver Dollar City over the years, with the most recent one being in August of 2020. I am very familiar with the park and its roller coasters. In this video, I will be giving a review of the park and my thoughts on its coasters. The park has an incredible mountain setting and very nice theming, and I think it has some of the best theming outside of Disney or Universal parks. The park is an 1880s frontier town theme, with the food and rides fitting in very well. The theming is far more cohesive than Dollywood, Silver Dollar City's sister park, as Dollywood has many different themed areas, while Silver Dollar City has one theme that encompasses the whole park. This makes Silver Dollar City a very immersive park and my favorite theme park in the country. The park is also built on top of a large cavern known as Marble Cave. The cave was first discovered in the 1880s and was used for mining, but by the end of the decade the cave would become a tourist attraction. This makes the cave one of the oldest attractions in Branson. In the 1950s, the property would be purchased by the Hershon family. They built a town reminiscent of the mining town that once stood in the 1880s, and this would open as Silver Dollar City in 1960. The park would continue expanding into the park it is today. Before I get to the rides, I would also like to talk about the food, as this park has some incredible food. They have amazing potato chips on a stick, which is one of my favorite snacks at the park. They also have a barbecue place by Mystic River Falls that is very good. Every meal at this park is incredible and is not just typical theme park food, and the cinnamon bread is one of my favorite foods in general. The park has 7 coasters. I won't be talking about the Grand Exposition coaster, as it is just a kiddie coaster and I have no thoughts on it. These coasters will be ranked from my least to most favorite. Number 6 is Fire in the Hole. This is less of a roller coaster and more of a dark ride. It does have some sudden drops in the dark and even a splashdown. Other than that, it's just a fun ride with nice theming. Number 5 is Thunderation. This is by far my favorite mine train of all time. It is very intense and the setting in the forest is beautiful. The helix before the lift is very intense for this kind of ride and I gray out on it sometimes. I also appreciate that the ride does not just end at the end of the lift, because Adventure Express at Kings Island was just very disappointing when it ended after the suspenseful second lift. This is just a solid ride that really exceeded my expectations. Number 4 is very close with number 5, but I gave the edge to this one because of its awesome setting and larger size. This coaster is Wildfire. This is a B&M sit-down coaster with 5 inversions and a 155-foot drop. This ride is possibly the best setting of any roller coaster I've ever ridden and is a bunch of fun. The inversions are forceful and the drop gives solid ejector airtime. My main problem with this ride is the strong rattle. This is not a smooth ride like other B&Ms, but on my rides there wasn't a ton of headbanging. Number 3 is Powder Keg. This was actually the first roller coaster I ever rode, and I still find it to be amazing to this day. This is one of the only few air launch coasters in the world and is very forceful. The first half of this ride is full of camelbacks that give borderline ejector airtime in the front. This coaster also has a launch and a chain lift, which is very rare as well. The second half of the ride is my main problem, as it is short. There is a decent drop and some turns into the brake run. Another thing to consider is that this ride has long waits, because as far as I know, the park only has one train for this coaster, so the lines move very slowly. Number 2 is Outlaw Run. This is an RMC topper track wooden coaster. It has 3 inversions, including a double barrel roll finale. The ride starts off with a 162-foot 81-degree drop, which gives a powerful ejector moment in any row because of the awesome pre-drop element. The ride follows up with an awesome inversion and some powerful airtime moments. It may be controversial to put this ride at number 2, but I have a few problems with it. The first problem is that this is a short ride. It is very hard to rank Outlaw Run too high because of the short ride experience. I also find the wave turn to be overhyped, as on all of my rides it provided no airtime. My biggest problem is the roughness. I was able to ride this multiple times in 2018, but by 2020 it had gotten so rough that I had a bad headache after just one ride. Number 1 is Time Traveler, a Mock Ride's extreme spinning coaster. This ride is in my personal top 5 and has some of my favorite elements of all time. The first drop and twisted airtime hill are incredible, and the background gives some of the strongest gut punches I've ever felt on a coaster. The loop gives nice hang time, and the zero-G roll is very disorienting with the spinning cars. The launches aren't all that powerful, but it is awesome to take a launch sideways or backwards, and it provides a very unique experience. The ride is awesome from start to end, has no real flaws in my opinion.